Hello Unreal users, Alex here, your Unreal guide, and today we're finally getting an update for our Loft. This will be an official update for our Unreal Engine class. Okay, as you can see here, I've rendered a preview from that new updated scene that I've made. Basically everything stays the same from the lighting point of view, but the models, this is what I'm going to show you today, how to really advanced and practically model your scene in order to be efficient and have all the resolution for your maps to get a good quality. All right, so this is my preview from 3ds Max. This is what I want to achieve, kind of lighting, this nice soft looking lighting with cool blurry reflections here. This is the result I want to achieve in my Unreal Engine. So it's very good to have your references rendered from 3ds Max, or get a real photo in order to know what you want to achieve. It's very hard to have everything in your head. Prior doing lighting, you should get some references. All right, so that's been said, I'm gonna open my Loft scene. As you can see, I'm using the old standard of Gamma's input output, so that's a little inverse in order to get this nice contours. But we use a little bit different setup, everything 2.2. So I'm just gonna adopt this Gamma file unit setup. It doesn't really matter. It's just an old scene setup for lighting, and I didn't want to flip it or change it, so I left it as it is. All right. Now, if we take a look at my scene right here, we'll be able to see that it's a very clean model, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. So if we click C, and then I'm gonna show save frames, that's the scene basically. Nothing changed from previous scene from the camera standing point, but all the models and everything was updated. So if we take our floor and go and isolate it, we'll be able to see, let me just remove this save frames. All right, so we can see here that this model is basically a spline that I modeled from the top with the snapping points, so everything's nice and straight. Then on top of that I put extrude, and I have extruded that plane and put a UV on top of it. Also, all the maps, they cannot have any complicated materials, no color corrections, none of that stuff. So very simple things. Now for this one, we're going to use Datasmith in order to export everything. So you don't have to worry about making all of those changes that we did in previously, the old method of converting and putting all the maps, unwrapping, making light maps on a second channel. All of that stuff can be done automatically by Datasmith. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, forget about it. We're just going to use Datasmith plugin in order to export this. All right. So again, everything comes to those also walls. If we go isolated, Alt Q, same thing here. It's basically splines that were extruded and with the W map. So this is a clean modeling. And I duplicated. This is actually a clone. You can see those lines are in bold text. That means it's a clone of this one. So both of them will have, if I do one change to one of those bricks, it will do it to another one. So why did I do two of them like that? If we just isolate them, as you can see, I duplicated with clone, with instance, and I use snapping tools to snap it. So modeling like this much better than having a whole one big wall, because it's very hard to bake good quality lighting into a big map, right? Makes sense. If you make it in small maps, you can get much better resolution in the smaller portions. And after making a bunch of tests, I found that this is a really good method. Breaking it down, you see I have also two. So instead of having one big wall here, and trying to force and bake really good quality into those walls, I'd rather separate them in two, clone them, and have a little bit smaller maps, which allow me to bake more quality into them. Okay. Same thing goes to my glass door. This was the biggest problem in the previous model. All those glass doors, the way I modeled them, they had some faces that were overlapping. So here too, if I group open, we can see a simple line. See, simple line. And then on that line, we have extrude, right? So very basic stuff. I also put some rubber inside in order to emphasize it. But again, we don't have any more overlaps, so that's a good thing, okay? Again, everything here modeled the same way, line and extrude. So my advice to you, try to stay with the simple forms. If you do any geometrical forms like tubes and stuff like that, we had a bunch of tubes on top here to emphasize the air conditioning, and you know, LOFT, they have those kind of things going on here. All right, so I'm going to add more stuff. We're going to kind of redesign this, but as a base model, this is pretty good. It's ready to go. It's all unwrapped. All the models are clean, don't have any overlaps. And let me just prove it to you by exporting this into Unreal Engine. All right, so if you have any questions regarding modeling, post them below. I'll be more than glad to assist you with answering how to do this stuff properly. But the main idea is not to have too many complicated geometrical forms with faces that overlap. This will cause overlapping in lighting maps inside Unreal, and we're trying to avoid those complicated overlaps. All right, so just simple model, line, spline, and extrude will work just fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that map here. I forgot. Control V. So I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna share this with you, of course. This scene, so you can download it below. I'm gonna save it after this video. Control S. All right, now we can export that into Unreal. So let's click export. As you can see, it goes automatically to my 3ds Max export folder. Here I'm gonna select Datasmith, and let's call it LOFT2020. Click save. Okay, we export everything. Complicated big maps, you will see it will take time to export. Simple scenes will go really in a blink of an eye, as this one, really fast. Okay, so we have some errors, but not critical. Those are not errors, actually. This is I guess warning. Partially not supported texture map, the color correction. So don't worry about it. It says are not supported, and if it's the first children, it will be used. So it will take the first map and just use it if you have any color correction. Not a big deal, but thank God no overlapping faces. Okay, and other textures, we have here some bump and smoke that also not being Datasmith in format. This will not be imported into Unreal Engine, so we'll have to find it and just replace it, as I don't see it here. But this is not something critical, and we can go ahead and fire up our Unreal Engine now. So in my library, I have two. I have the 425 launch and 426. The 426 is gonna have amazing new atmospherics, water, all that stuff was updated, but it doesn't have all the previous materials. Like I have the automotive beach that I'm gonna use now, and the materials for automotive car paint and stuff like that. All of that needs to be converted into 4.6. So for this example, for light baking, for this interior, we're gonna use 425 because this is the version that got all the other materials to work with. The 426 is a new one, and it's gotta have a bunch of conversions. So let's launch the 425.4. That's the latest 425 version came out, and it's a good update. But the 4.26, the preview, now the preview 4 is out, and this stuff is just amazing. Soon enough we'll be launching those tutorials to show you all the new sky atmospherics the water, the ocean, whatever they have. This stuff is just amazing. Okay, I have to disconnect my Gear VR because it's been launched automatically every time we launch. So for this one, you can see the interface changed a little bit. We're going to use architecture, engineering, construction, and I'm just going to do. You can choose this Archviz. It comes already with the sky and sand and everything. If you're new to Unreal, I encourage you to explore different templates, but we're gonna get this blank, and let's start our project here with this starter content, and let's do ray tracing disabled. I'm using GTX graphic card, so I don't have ray tracing. If I had RTX, I would probably do the ray tracing. Okay, now let's do LOFT2020. Give a name, create project. Every time I'm launching, I have to close this Gear VR, the HTC Vive. All right, so I have here a starter scene. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to add to this scene. I'm going to add my beach scene, which was provided for free here. So I'm gonna add to the project, and I'm gonna select this LOFT2020 that I just created. I'm gonna click add to the project. So it's got 4.5 gigs of information. It's a really nice scene, but it's already got everything there from the lighting point of view, from the HDRI, light streaks, got nice color corrections, some ambient occlusion already built in, and in my opinion, it's a very good and quick scene that you can just add to your project, and already have the lighting, so you can check out what you actually have done. So it's a very quick way to check out your interior space. All right, so here I'm gonna go to beach scene that was just added to the maps, and I can open beach environment. We have just beach lighting, and this beach P, it's got everything in it. So I'm gonna click on this beach P and open that. All right, so this was loaded. You can see it's a very nice looking scene here. It's free for download, you know, got nice detail. All right, with HDRI, sun, everything is cool looking here. Now into this, I'm gonna bring my datasmith. You can bring it into the empty project, but we're gonna bring it into, I'm gonna go to export and open the LOFT2020. We're just gonna bring it in here into content, click import. All right, so this scene was added here. We don't see much. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna give a few moments just for those materials to compile. You can go here on the side and explore what we have. HDRI backdrop, exponential, highlight fog. Those actually were improved. Post-processing, sky atmospherics. A lot of cool stuff. So here our beach, loft. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lift it up a little bit and of course turn it to the side here just to get the lighting in. And let's position it a little bit better. Okay. I actually want some shadows from that. I have a swim pool. That's the reason why, for pulling it up. You know, I don't want anything going through my swim pool. Okay. pull this a little more to the side. It's looking cool. Okay. Something like this, I think, could work. Okay. Now let's go. We can here select our camera. Let's go see what our camera sees. Oh, everything's so dark. It's a physical correct camera, so we need to tweak it. I'm gonna exit the camera. And wow, oh my god, this stuff looking great. Okay, so if I click play, just to walk around here. Oh. Yeah, the maps are still compiling, you know, so we're gonna give it a little few minutes to compile. But this stuff is looking great, you know, just with the basic, even with the basic ambient occlusion and, you know, all the basic stuff. We just export it, you know. Look at those nice slice trick. You know, if we put cameras and just do, you know, pan left, pan right, this is already going to look great without even baking. But we're gonna do some cool professional baking in the upcoming videos in order to get really nice quality. So basically, everything that you're gonna see or you saw already in the previous tutorials can be applied with this new scene. You're just not gonna have any errors or any, you know, any warnings for your maps or overlaps. You can see this stuff is looking already phenomenal just without even doing anything, you know, critical to this. Okay. So I warmly encourage you to play around, download, of course, update the version, but play around with this new scene, bring it in, see what results you guys get. And if you're new to this, you're welcome to join to our Unreal Engine VR class. We are starting our official update for this training with 4.25 and 4.26 versions. Those are the most latest versions that just came out right now, and they have really amazing stuff. So thanks a lot. Download the scene. This is Alex, your Unreal Engine guide. I'll see you soon. Ciao.